Carlos is at the check-in counter at the airport. He has a small suitcase and a work bag. He puts his passport on the counter. The woman asks him something in English. He answers clearly, without stopping, without looking at the floor. Window seat, please. And can I check this bag? The woman types something. She hands him his boarding pass. He says thank you and walks away. He does not look back. He does not feel his heart beating in his ears. He just walks to the gate, boarding pass in hand, like a man who has done this many times. He has not done this many times. This is only his second work trip abroad. But something is different from the first time. Something changed, and it did not happen at the airport. 1 year ago, Carlos was in a hotel in Buenos Aires, not abroad, a local conference, but with international guests. After the presentations, everyone went to the hotel bar. People were talking, laughing, mixing Spanish and English. Carlos sat at the end of the table. He had a glass of water. He did not touch it. A man from Canada sat next to him. He said something friendly. He was smiling. He wanted to talk. Carlos looked at his phone. He typed nothing. He just looked at it. The Canadian turned to someone else. Carlos finished his water and went to his room at 9 o'clock. He was 30 years old. He had studied English for 6 years in school. He knew the grammar. He knew many words. But he went to his room at 9 o'clock because he did not want to try. The thought was always the same. He had carried it for years without ever saying it out loud. If I speak and I make a mistake, they will know my English is not good. It is better to say nothing. It felt like a protection, but it was a wall. And behind the wall, Carlos stayed alone at bars, skipped international meetings, sent emails instead of making calls. He was good at his job. Nobody knew he was afraid. He made sure of that. 6 months ago, his manager called him into her office. She told him the company had a new client in Amsterdam. There would be a meeting, in person, in English, in 3 weeks. She told him he was the right person for this. She said the flight was already booked. Carlos said yes. He walked back to his desk. He sat down. He looked at his computer screen. He did not type anything for 4 minutes. 3 weeks, Amsterdam, in English. No colleague to speak for him. No translator. No way out. The wall was still there, but now there was a door in it, and the door had a date on it. He did not wait for Amsterdam. He started at home, alone. That same evening, he opened his laptop. He found a short video about business meetings in English. He watched it twice. Then he closed the laptop and spoke out loud to nobody, to the wall of his apartment. My name is Carlos. I work for a company in São Paulo. We make software for small businesses. His voice was strange to him, too quiet, too careful. He said it again, a little louder. Then again. The third time was better. Not perfect. He said make instead of develop because he did not know that word yet. But he said it out loud in English in a room with no one to impress and no one to judge. His heart was still fast, but his voice was there. That was new. In Amsterdam, on the first day, he spoke to a man in the hotel lobby. The man asked where he was from. Carlos answered, simple sentence, true words. I am from Brazil, São Paulo. The man smiled and said he had always wanted to visit Brazil. They talked for 3 minutes about weather, about food, about the flight. Carlos made two mistakes. He knew it. The man did not stop smiling. He did not correct Carlos. He just kept talking. That was the thing Carlos noticed. Not a big lesson, just one small observation. People are listening to what you mean, not how you say it. The man did not hear the mistakes. He heard Brazil, he heard São Paulo. He heard a person who wanted to talk. Carlos thought about this on the tram back to the hotel that evening. He looked out the window at the dark canal and the yellow lights. He thought, I was hiding for years from something that was never as dangerous as I believed. He did not join an English school. He did not buy a course. He started small and started alone. Every morning before work, he read one short article in English out loud at his kitchen table with coffee. 5 minutes, not 10, just 5. Every evening, he wrote 3 sentences in a notebook. What he did that day in English. Simple past tense, short and true. Once a week, he watched one episode of a series in English. No subtitles for the first 5 minutes. Then subtitles. Then no subtitles again. He wrote the words he did not know. He looked them up. He used them the next day, out loud, alone, in his apartment. He made mistakes every day. He corrected some of them. He left others. He kept going. He did not tell anyone he was doing this. It was just something he did, like making coffee, like opening the window in the morning, a small daily thing that belonged only to him. Carlos is at the gate now. He sits down and puts his work bag on the seat next to him. He takes out his notebook, the same one where he wrote 3 sentences every evening for 6 months. He opens it to a new page. He writes today's date, then one sentence. He writes it in English, short and true, the kind of sentence that belongs to him now. The gate opens. People start to move. Carlos puts the notebook in his bag. He stands up. He picks up his boarding pass. Window seat. He chose that on purpose. He likes to look out at the clouds and practice sentences in his head. Nobody knows he's doing it. He looks like he's just looking at the sky. A year ago, he left a bar at 9 o'clock to avoid one conversation. Today, he's boarding a plane to have many. The English did not change. Carlos did. Hi everyone, I am Nadir. It is so nice to have you here. I hope this story motivated you to study English alone at home. See you next video. Bye.